Okay, so we'll start with the troubleshooting part today. So before that, let us understand where are the logs directory for your database. Okay, if you see over here, this is the directory for your log directory, the trace directory. Okay, but this is the directory for your system DB. You see over here, this is the directory for your system DB. For your tenant DB, it's a one directory deep, one level deep. Okay, for your tenant, it will be by the name of DB underscore and the name of the tenant. So this is the trace directory for your tenant database, and this is for your system database. USR, SAP, SID, HDB, instance number, then the host name and trace directory. Okay, this is the directory for your system DB. Also, you can use the cd trace command to directly go inside the directory. You don't need to type the whole path for it. There's the alias for it. There is an alias for it, why you can use that alias to directly go inside the directory. Now, if you see over here, my current work directory, present work directory is USR, SAP, SID, HDB, instance number. Now I'm clicking CD trace. Can you see? When I use the command CD trace, it directly brings me or takes me to this directory USR, SAP, SID, HDB, instance number, host name. This is the host name and this is the trace directory. So these are the all your files related to your system DB's log, trace file for your log. Okay, so there are a lot of log files in this directory. How will you identify which one is your most recent and the most relevant one? So what you can do, you can run ls minus l. L is for long listing. If I execute ls minus l, see this is for long listing. It is showing me everything. It is showing me the permissions of the file, the ownership of the file, the size, the date, last change, and the name of the file. So this is ls minus l. Okay, after that you can also add t. T is for time. Now, if you see over here, you can see all the 17. See, this file is for July 17. In between, you can see one file for July 16. Okay, these all files are for July 17, but between you can see one file for 16. Also, here in between, you can see one file for 16. Again, in the last, you can see one file for 16. So these files are not arranged as per their date, the date when they were changed. So what you can do, you can run ls minus lt. T is for timing, time. Now these all files are now arranged by the time. You can see, you can find the oldest file here in the last, oldest file, July 3. Then after July 3, July 10, July 16, July 17. So this is how you can find. Now the latest file is here in the top. The latest files are in the top and the oldest ones are in the below. Okay, if it's a long list, then we have to scroll up and you have to see which files are there on the top. So instead of that, what you can do is that ls minus ltr. Ltr is for reverse. It will reverse the order. Instead of showing you the oldest file at the bottom, it will show you the latest file in the bottom. Okay, here I am running ls minus ltr. Now can you see it is showing me the latest file at the bottom over here. So this is the latest file. Okay, is it clear? So you can see the latest file which was to be written recently was this file, the name server file, name server history.trc. Then this is a name server topology. Okay, this is a JSON file. We have to see this is the actual file where you can find most of your relevant information. This is the name server, then then the host name, the host system, the port number, loads, unload. Okay, I think this is the main file. This one, 000.trc. Okay. So this is the file where you can file the most important logs about for your name server service. Now for your tenant database, you have to go inside one directory deep, db underscore sid. Here also you will find all these files over here. Again, you can run ls minus ltr and you will find all the latest file at the bottom. Okay, so this file is for your index server. This for the index server, this is for the access engine, then again this is for the index server. Okay, is it clear? Any doubts? Yes. Okay, no problem. So now what we are going to do, we are going to create one scenario. We are going to create one scenario where the database will crash. It will not crash actually. We will stop the database. We will create this scenario, and the next time when we start the database, it will not start up. So we will go and we will find what is the problem in the database in the log file, and then we will troubleshoot it. We'll rectify it, and then we'll bring up the database. Okay, so first step, what you're going to do is stop the tenant database. We are not going to shut down the whole database. No, only the tenant database on which that is the SID database. So how can you stop that? HDB SQL. This is HDB SQL minus capital U. My keys is okay, and the query alter system stop database SID. Now what I'm going to do here is that I'm opening another session over here, login with the SID ATM, and I'm running my query over here. This is monitoring my database. It is showing me the system DB as well as my tenant database. Now I'm running that command over here to stop the database. Okay, I've executed that command. Can you see the change over here? The yellow status. Two of my have changed into yellow status. Okay, there is a script over here also where you can monitor them. You can monitor them in color. So the green status will display in green. If it goes into yellow, well, let me again start the database. Alter system, start database SID. Can you see the yellow status is now showing in yellow? Okay, now all of them are green. Now let me again stop the tenant database so that we can start with the. Okay, so here I'm stopping the tenant database. Again, let me go back over here. Can you see the tenant database is now started to stop? Okay, so the tenant database has stopped completely. Only the system DB is running. Okay, what is the next step? Remove the data volume of rename data volume of tenant DB. So where is the data volume? So if you remember, this is the CD slash HANA data. This is the location for our data volumes for all the instances. And this you'll have your instance. For example, H4D. This is your instance. Inside this instance, you can find the MNT directory. Okay, inside the MNT directory, you have to go for out of this instance directory, the first directory HDB001. This is for your system DB's name server. Okay, how can you identify all the which are the files for which directories for which service? You can open your HANA Studio. Okay. It's up now. So you can see over here the tenant database is down. You can see the cross icon, the red marking database connection is not available. So this is my system over here. If I double click on it, and this overview screen on the overview screen on the this part on the this location, the disk usage. If you see on the disk usage, if you come and if you click on the more information, click on more information. Okay, under more information, you can say you can check for the data volume. Can you see over here? So this is the path slash HANA data SID MNT 00001. If you extend it, see here you can see over here, you can see which service is for which service has the directory for which you can see HDB 00001. So this directory is for the name server. Name server. Which database has the name server? Only your system DB has the name server. Other databases have index server. This from here you can identify the directory. Okay, if the SID database is currently down, or I could have, okay, let me start it and show you. Okay, everything green. Let me refresh this. It's up now. Double click. Okay. Now again, go in the right side. Click on the more information. Okay, now can you see over here? If you extend this, you can see the services over here. Can you see HDB 00002? Can you see this part over here inside the inventory directory? This is the directory, and what is this directory? Which or for which service it is related to? So it is related to your index server and the access engine. Index server and the access engine of your SID database, your tenant database. Okay, for your tenant database, the service is index server and access engine, and these are their respective directories in which you will find their data file. Okay. And if you go here in this other one in the system DB, here we'll find the service which is related to your. This is not for your tenant database. This will be for your system DB. Okay, this is for your system DB. So for this is for the system DB, the name server, okay, the name server service, and this is the directory for it. Yes, is it clear with everyone? Okay. So now moving ahead, what we are going to do, we are going to inside the directory for your index server, the tenant database, the index server service of your tenant database. So this is the location for it. We are going inside this location. Here, see if you see over here, this is the data volume. Okay, the data volume for your index server service of your tenant database. Okay. This is the index server service of your. This is the data volume. You can find rename the data volume of the tenant DB's index server service. Tenant DB's index server. Name server, and this is for your index server. Okay. Tenant DB's index server. So we are going inside the directory. We have went inside the directory. Now I'm going to rename this directory. What I'm going to do it data volume into, we are going to rename it from that dot dat extension to dot tmp. So here I am renaming it. I renamed it from that dat, the dat extension. I renamed it to dot tmp. Okay, it's now. If you check it now, it has been renamed. Can you see the previous name was dot dat? Now it is dot tmp. Now what we are going to do, we have renamed the file here. Now we are going to start the database again, the tenant database. We are going to again start the tenant database. Okay, here I am again starting the tenant database. Okay, it has started, executed. Now we will see the change over here. It was already running. We made a mistake. Let me rename it back to the same name. Let us first let it shut it down, then we will stop it and then rename it. Okay. It is shut down now. Now we are going to rename the file. Okay. We are going to rename this file ls. Can you see we are renaming it to .tmp. Now let us start the database. Start database. Now let us see whether it starts or not. What does it say? Can you see the access engine has become red? This service has gone red. So we change actually we changed the file for this one, the index access engine, not for the index server. 3. Okay, so access engine is the 3 1. This is for the 2 1. Okay, this is the 2 1. Okay, so this service has gone red. The index server has started. The index server of the tenant DB has started, but this has gone red, the access engine. Okay, now let us do the troubleshooting. Now what you need to do is that you have to go inside the cd trace directory inside the tenant database. You have to go inside the tenant database. So here is it. I've gone into the trace directory, cd trace, we are in the trace directory, and again I'm going inside the tenant database. Here I'm running ls minus ltr. Okay, if I run ls minus ltr, I can see all the files which have changed in the bottom one. So I can see the access engine file over here. Okay, don't go with it. Here it is showing you for the index server, but actually we have to check for this access engine because we renamed the file for access engine. Okay, so here I'm checking for the access engine trace. Why? Can you see the database, the service for access engine is gone, it's not coming up. So I'm checking the trace of the access engine less with the less command. Okay, now let us come down, Shift G. So it is this one. These are all for the shutdown timing. The shutdown when the database was going into stopping. Come back, come back. Okay. Yeah, I can see one error over here. Can you see? Can you see? Assign failed with persistent startup error. Exception. This error. Then if you come over here, you can see find this one. Can you see? This is the plain error message over here. No data volume files found in the path for HANA data HOD MLT00. This is for this one. Can everybody see this? Yes. Yes, somebody is listening or not?
Yes, we are listening.
Yes,
Yes,
brother.
yes.
Okay. So now you can see over here that you can see the error message here, no data volume files found. You cannot find the file, and that is why it shut down the service. It didn't brought up the service. So now we have identified the issue. Okay, we analyzed the log file. We have identified the issue. What is the issue? We have identified the root cause. So this was the root cause of the issue. The data file, if you know, we couldn't find the data file. Now what we will do, we'll go inside that location of the data file. Okay, we will go inside the location of the data file. Okay, now before that you need to stop the database, but it is already in the stop state. Okay, before again, see now it is in the stop state. So before doing anything, stop the tenant database. Before rectifying or before changing back the name of the file, just shut down the database cleanly. So here I'm stopping the database. See, that one is already down. Now it is stopping the index server. Okay, the database is now shut down completely. Now after the database is down, okay, we will go inside this directory. So this is for the two directory. So not this directory, this file is proper. We'll go into JSON, then IGB002, sorry, 2, 3. So we'll go inside directory. You can see that the file where we have changed the name extension of this file. So now again move it back to the correct extension. Okay, so there's a command is here. You can just move the name volume back to the correct name. So you see, now here is the correct name. Now what to do after that? Just start again the database. Let me start again the database. Monitor it over here. Yes, can you see now? All of them are in green now. Our database has started successfully. The error message was identified, the root cause was identified, and we have rectified the error, and now the database is up and running. Yes, everybody clear with this?
Yes.
Yes.
You can also check from more scenarios from your end if you have any, but just make sure that they don't make any changes where you are not able to come back, revert it back. Okay, and your database gets corrupted or the data file gets corrupted, anything like that. Now let me make one change over here. Let us see. What I'm doing is that I'm shutting down the whole database now. Instead of only for this, I'm shutting down the whole database. HDB stop. What I will do, I will change the size of my VM. I'll make it to say something 16 GB. I'll make my VM size to 16 GB memory, and then I will try to bring up the database and see what error does it gives. Because for your installation for this HANA database, only the HANA database, huh? Not the database with your this one application, the S4 HANA application. So for this HANA database installation, the minimum requirement is 24 GB memory. Okay. So we'll take it down to below 24 and let's see what error it gives to us. Okay, so here I have shut down, yeah, I have stopped the process. Now what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to stop this database. Sorry, I'm going to stop this VM.
Zafar, I have some query.
Yes, yes, no problem. Okay.
Uh,
Like if we just replace the log file with some other DB log file, will it work?
Mhm. Then what?
Then the DB will start or not, means the tenant DB.
No, no, it will not start. Okay, it will not start because see the log file has you have changed the log file for that one. So it's a simple thing. Even if you change any file of the database, okay, it will
Hmm.
not start.
And if we would do backup and restore process through HANA Studio,
Mhm.
does it the log file also get restored in that? If we
No,
have
the log
some,
file doesn't get restored. Only your data volume get restored.
so it that will also not work.
Nah,
Yeah.
that will work, and I might say the reason because is that when just remind me when we'll do the restore topic for
Restore part.
that part. Okay, because there is an option
Okay.
where when you do the restoration, uh, there is a default check mark over there where we have to say that initialize the log. Okay, here if you
Okay.
see over here in the backup and recovery part, when you do the restore, you have to check a box. Here it is not
When we are
visible.
taking the backup or when we are restoring the backup?
Restoring when you're restoring the backup. When you
When we are
restore the
restoring.
backup, there is a check marks where you can tell it to initialize the log area. If you do
Okay.
that, then I think it will
Mhm.
it will get the log area will get initialized and it will start.
Okay, we will
Just
try in
remind me
that
when you do
session.
that.
Okay, sure, sure.
Now here it is. We have stopped the VM. Let me change the size of this VM. Okay, so here is the size of this VM. If you see over here, it is four CPUs and 32 GB memory. The size is E4SV3. Now I'm going to change the size. I'm making it B4MS. Okay, B4MS, and I can make it. Just give me 1 minute. Just please. Yeah, yeah. Sorry for the disturbance. Okay, now let me change it to something for 16 GB. You can change for this four CPUs, or better, I can go it for the E series V3. E series V3. There's an option for 16 GB. Two processors, 16 GB. E2S V3. So I'm going to resize my VM to this VM size.
To do any changes in VM, we have to shut down the VM, right?
For yes, yes. For if you're changing the size of the VM, you have to shut down the VM, the Azure VM. Okay,
Mm,
in the for if it's like
in
a
mm,
yes, yes,
in means we have to change the RAM or we have to change the number of CPU. We have to shut down the VM for that.
shut down the VM. If it's an
Okay.
hyper, if it's an VMware, if it's a VMware VM, then you don't have
Mm,
to shut it down because if you change it online, it just what it does, it takes a snapshot and it put the machine in hibernate mode. It changes the configuration and again bring up your system. So that is for
okay.
your advance in VMware where you don't have to shut it down. But here, in case of AWS and Azure, you have to shut it down. Now,
Hypervision
can you
is
see?
that machine which includes all your memory plus networking. That
I
hypervision
didn't
you
get
are
your point. Come again, what?
hypervision you mean to say that that machine,
The
new machine which is
hypervisor,
hypervised.
hypervisor. Yes,
Okay, okay, it's
hypervisor
hyper.
is the system which hosts all your VMs, which
Okay,
manages all your VMs. So that is a hypervisor. So I'm talking about VMware. VMware vSphere. In VMware vSphere,
vSphere,
if you want to
vSphere.
change the configuration, you don't have to shut it down.
Okay.
Here, if I click on refresh, yes, can you see that the size of my VM has been changed? It has changed to E2S V3. The size of my VM has changed to E2S V3. Let me start the VM. and then we will check to see whether we are able to start our database or not. I might think that it will start up because we have changed the allocation, global allocation of this VM of this HANA database to 16 GB. Let us see. We will start and see whether it starts up or whether it gives an error. Okay, the VM started. Wait for 2 minutes. Sometimes it takes time to bring up the whole system. Okay, it started now. Let me log in with my SID agent user and start the database. The database is starting up.
Mujaffarji.
Yes.
If you want to kill the particular respective processor, so how?
Mhm. If you want to kill a particular process,
Yes, yes,
okay, so can you see the last column over here? This is the PID
yes, yes.
column. This is the
Yeah.
process ID. So this is the process ID of the running processor. Okay,
Okay.
so if
Yeah.
you want to kill any process, you have to take the process ID of that process. Okay,
Okay.
2391, and you can use the kill command. Kill, or if it doesn't get kill with the kill command, then you can use the -9 option. Kill space -9 space and the process ID, and it will get killed.
Okay.
So it is starting up. I think it's a bit slow, or maybe I think it's just my. It started. I think it started in 16 GB also. I think that memory was enough for yesterday. We changed the global allocation limit to 16 GB. Maybe because of this, it got started. You might have to take it down to more lesser this one, the size.
But will it work?
What it will work?
Means the HANA DB will work with the application with
No,
16 GB
so
memory.
actually we are trying to crash the system. No? We are not trying to build it up or bring it. We are just for our troubleshooting part for our experiment. We are trying to crash the system so that we can troubleshoot it. What
नहीं नहीं
happens in this scenario? Yes. What?
I mean to say, will it work in 16 GB? It get
Uh,
started, right? But
See,
will it work?
16 GB. It has started. See,
नहीं,
starting is different and running is different.
okay.
Okay, so given in your load, even if you have 64 GB of memory, it will not work on your S4HANA application server. In your S4HANA application, the minimum requirement is 100 GB.
100 to 150.
Yes, you can
100
say
will work.
minimum. See, minimum is 100 GB. Yes, yes, 100 will
Okay.
work.
Okay.
It works in 100 GB. So let me again stop it. But work in the sense means it is only for a minimum requirement. For example, if you are doing some testing with a minimum number of users.
Means if 8 user were there, they will work on it in 100 GB.
Yes, maybe I think 2 or 4 users, or just if you are doing some kind of upgrade testing, you want to run some upgrade, you are doing some testing and all, just for that purpose, that is also good. But if you are doing it for, so you are creating a new system, then 128 GB I think is the minimum required. We should go with 128 GB. And slowly, if you find that it has started giving performance issue, you can increase the memory. So now again, let me take it down to D2S V3, two processors and 8 GB memory. Now I should believe that it should not work on 8 GB. The resize is done. It is now gone to D2S V3. That is two processors and 8 GB memory. Now let me start this VM. It's running now. Okay. Now let me see. Now here instead of running this start command, I will run the HDB start command. And let me open another session. Okay, I've changed the configuration, the size of the CM to 3.5 GB. I think it should definitely not start the 100. Yeah, let's try now. What does it does now? So the main server has started. Let us expect some error over here. If it doesn't get gives any error, then we can't help it and we have to skip this point. Index server cd db underscore ls minus mpr. So this is the file currently just made calculated tail minus f. The index server also is green now. It's up now. No issue. Right? Check the persistence started with problem 3. It's taking a lot of time. It has got stuck. Then we'll not wait for it. I'll kill this session. I'll again bring it back to our normal size, and then we'll go with the next topic. So it's not getting stopped, so I have to stop it forcefully. HDB kill. So I'm just giving HDB kill. Let us let me shut it down from here. So, Okay. Now finally it has got stopped. I think from the Azure side. Let me change it back the size. E4SV3 E4SV3 460 32 GB memory. E4SV3 start the game. Okay, finally it came up. Okay, by the time comes up, let us start with the user. How to create users inside a database. Okay, and some related topics. We have two scenarios over here. What we are going to do is that we will create a backup user. We are going to create a backup user and take a backup with that. The first scenario. In the second scenario, we'll create an admin user. Okay, and we'll give you more details as and when we start with it. So let us first take up the first option over here. Let it start. Okay. So your database is started now. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to create a user for taking backup. So I'm logging into my HDB SQL. This is for my system DB. I'm connecting to my system DB. Okay, first let me log in with my SID ADM user. Okay, here also let me log in with my SID ADM user. Okay, so here with my SID I'm logging with this. I've connected to my system DB. Here I'm connected to my system DB. On the other prompt, I'm connecting to my, okay, here I'm connecting to the tenant DB. Okay, I didn't created the key. That is the reason it is showing over here DB connection. DB users to list. DB users to my PS4D. Then the list. There I can see sys and S4D. Okay. DB connection to this user. Okay, can you see here I'm now connected to my tenant database. Here I'm connecting to the system database. Now what I'm doing over here, I'm checking how many users are there. Select user underscore name from users. Okay, so how many users are, these are the number of users which are there in this system. Okay, how many users, if you see over here, line 1 to 18. So there are 18 users in this system. I think it is 16 user. It is also counting these two lines. So if you see the record of this, these are 16 users over here. So there are 16 users in this system, and how many users are there in the other one? Okay, so I think the same here. I think it is too less. One user is less over here. Which user is less over here? The last user, SAP DB control. This user is not there in the tenant database. Okay, so there are 15 users, there are 16 users in the SysDB and 15 users in the tenant database. So these are the current users. Now what I'm doing here, I'm creating a user, create user
These
backup.
users are the default users being created by the
Yes,
SAP
yes, these
HANA.
are user defaults. See, we have did the installation, we didn't created this user. Okay, so these are the
Okay.
default users.
So it will be
If you
same
want, you can.
for all the DB.
Yes, normally
All
it's a
the
20. If you see over here, except for this DB control, other users are common for the all the DB.
okay.
Okay. And if you want, you can also check it from your tenant data. You can also check it from your HANA Studio. You can go inside the catalog security. If you have to need to go inside the security, inside
Users.
the security, you can see the users. You'll see all the users over here. These are the users for your database. This is for your system DB, and here you will find the users for your tenant database. Okay. So only this user is additional in your system DB. The rest of the users are common. Okay, so now what I'm doing over here, I'll be creating a user by the what I did before was that I changed the password for both of the users. Someone asked me whether the users are different or same. So what I've done, I changed the password. The user is same. The user is backup only, but I changed the password. See, for the user in a system DB, I made it backup 2020, and for the user in the tenant database, I made it 2022. Okay, so now create user backup. This is the name of the user backup. Password. The password is this backup 2020. No force first password. It means if I don't add this line, no force first password. So if I create this user and then first time when I try to log in with this user, it will compulsory ask me to change the password. The same thing what happens for your SAP users. You create an SAP user from SU01, and when you try to log in from your SAP GUI for the first time, it will ask you to change the password. So if you don't want it to ask you to change the password, you need to add this switch over here. No force first password change. Then alter user backup, disable password lifetime. So the password doesn't get expires for this user. This option is that the password doesn't get expires for the user. Now grant backup admin. So this is the role, you can say, or this is the privilege with which you're going to the user backup. Backup admin and grant catalog read. These are the two, you can say, these are the two these are the two privileges that we are giving to this user. So to create the user, just copy this four command and you can paste it here. For this, I'm pasting here in the system DB prompt. Okay, here it is. Can you see? create user backup password. This is the password. No first term. Alter user backup. Disable password lifetime. Then give grant backup admin to backup. Grant catalog read to backup. Okay, and all the queries have executed successfully. Now, if you want to check your user, you can again run this command to check your user. Okay, here I can run it. So you can see the user over here. Can you see the last user backup? So it has created one more user by the name of backup. Now for the user in your tenant database. Now I'm adding this. I'm copying this for command and creating the user in my tenant database. Okay, you can see I've created the command with this password in the user. If I see the users over here, select username. So here can you see I can see one more additional user over here in this tenant database by the name backup. So here there are total 19 users, sorry, 17 users, and here there are 16 users. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm logged in.
What is the use for the catalog command?
The catalog command gives you the read access. You can read the catalog. What is the catalog? Catalog is the information about your backup. If you see over here, if you go into this backup, if I double click in the under the system DB, there is a backup option. If I double click on it, okay, here you can see the backup catalog. Can you see the backup catalog? So the catalog is it's a database about your backups. Okay, at what time, which backup executed, which files it backup, at what time, at what date. If you see all this in the right hand side, these are the backup details. All this information are stored inside your catalog. So what we are giving for the backup user, you are giving the catalog read. So the backup user can read the catalog. Okay. So you are
Okay.
giving this privilege to the user catalog read. Now after giving, now what you are doing, and we are running a command select star from users where db where user underscore name is equal to backup. So let me run it for the, this is for the tenant database, the system db. Okay, can you see these are the details for the user? This is the backup user. This is the user ID of the user. This is the, these are the different things. Many, it's not just one record. It's a combination of records. Okay, these are all the data which is stored along with this user backup user. Okay, same you can also run into your other system over here in the tenant DB. The same thing. Can you see? It's almost the same. Only the times. Can you see the create time? The create time for your tenant DB, this is the 17th of July. The time is 7:54:27 seconds. If you check for the tenant DB, it is different. It is 55 and 5 seconds. Here it is 54:27 seconds. Here it is 55 and 5 seconds. So it means both the users are different because the create time for both the users are different. Okay, so now this is we have created the user in both the database system DB and tenant database. Now test the backup user. How can you test the backup user? We will run HDB SQL minus I instance number user password system DB select database underscore name from V dollar. Sorry, database underscore name for M underscore database. So if I execute this command, what is it saying? Incorrect syntax near HDB SQL. Okay, sorry, I have to come out of this. I'm already in the SQL prompt. So let come out of this. See, I can execute the command. It is showing me the output over here. Okay. So I just forgot to add system db minus capital A. So if I execute this command, so you can see the output over here. This is the system db, and in the other one, if I and if I run this, if I run the same command, see if I run the same command over here, it will give me. Okay, I'm connected to the system DB, not to the tenant database. If I run the other command over here, okay, can you see this is my tenant database? If I give the other password for the instead of 2022, if I give the other password 2020 for the system DB, the user backup user from system DB, see what it is giving authentication failed. It means the password is wrong. So this is the correct password 2022 for the tenant database. So I can see the output over here. Okay, after this now what I'm doing in the next step, see here I have verified whether the user and the password is correct or not. Using this user backup user and this password, I am able to execute command. I am able to execute queries on my database. Here you can see This is the HDB SQL command with the instance number, backup user, backup password, system DB, and the query. I'm able to execute the query successfully. It means my username and password is correct. Same goes for here also. I can execute for my here also it is correct. So now what I'm doing, I'm creating a key. I'm creating a key for both the users in the database for the system DB and the tenant database. So here I'm creating a key for the user in the system DB. HDB user store, HDB user store list. So here you can see over here, there are three keys in the system as of now. Three keys are here. Now what I'm doing, I'm creating the copying this, execute, operation succeeded. Now if you run list, you can see one more key over here. Can you see the backup key over here? Backup key for sys. Again, I'm copying the other user store and creating the key for my tenant database. Okay, now if I run HDB user store list, see I can see two keys over here. One key for the tenant database and one key for the system DB. So both this key has been created. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take a backup. So first I'm going to take a backup for my system DB. HDB SQL minus u backup sys. This is the key. With this key, I'm executing the command backup data using file and the path. This is the path for my where the backup should go. Slash HANA shared SID. No, this should be not be the path. Let me give it slash. Okay, so it will go into slash backup. It will go in slash backup. Here slash backup system DB. Okay, and the year also it should go into slash backup. Okay, so it should go in the backup location. Now let me check in my backup location whether I have any backup or not in there. ls slash backup. Okay, it is empty. Now I'm taking a backup HDB SQL minus u key and the backup the query for taking the backup. So here I'm executing here. Okay, backup could not be cannot create a root directory. It is not able to create a root directory. The reason can you see over here? Permission denied. The reason here is permission denied. Okay, so we what we did what we have to do over here, we have to change the control D LL minus D slash backup. So the permission of this is for the root user. That is the reason it was not able to do it. So I have to run ch own LL slash LL slash HANA data priorities. The user and the password ch own and the user, the password, and give it to slash backup directory. Okay, here is for your backup directory. So here I need to add one more step over here before taking the backup.
What is the use of these keys for setting up the?
Here, yes, give me 1 minute. I will explain to you.
Yeah, please.
Okay, set permission to the backup directory. So here I'm changing the permission to my backup directory. The same over here. LL minus D slash backup. Okay, the permission is already set. Okay. Now let me log in again with my SID ID and user. And now again let me execute the same command again. Okay, so yes, who was asking this question for the backup key? The key, sorry.
Yeah, Anand here.
Yeah, Anand. Yes, Anand. Can you see over here what how I'm running this command?
Yes, yes,
This is this command, and if you check the previous command that I executed before creating the key, okay, if I
yes,
check the command, can you see this command? Can you see the difference between these two commands? Here I have provided the instance number, I have provided the username, I have provided the password, and I have provided the system, the database on which I have to run this query, this query.
yes.
Okay. Now here if you see, I have only provided the key. I have not provided the instance number, the user, the password, and the database.
Okay,
So the key, you can see I have created a key with all these details. So again and again, I don't have to provide the detail.
okay,
Okay, so this is the use of your key. So now here I'm running the same command to take a backup for my system DB. You can see over here backup data is using file. This is the location of the system DB. Inside the backup directory under the system DB, it will create okay, this is the directory of my system DB with the date and type, and inside this it will take the backup. So I'm executing it. Can you see it has started executing? If I check in my ls/backup directory, can you see it has created the directory?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Muzaffar, that key name, are we giving that key name or is it creating automatically that key name?
We are specifying it over here. Now, see, that is the reason in my last topic on the DB connection, I gave the key name as my key. Okay, my key. You can give anything that you like. Okay, can you see the name over here? HDB SQL minus u my key. Okay,
Okay.
so you can give any key, any name that as per your liking, as per your convenience or like your relevant key name, anything. Okay, so here you can see the backup command completed successfully. It took around 27 seconds. It took 20 seconds, 7 seconds for the backup. If you see over here, if I come over here, and if I check for du minus csh/backup star. Okay, so how much? What is the size of the backup? It is 2.3 GB. So under slash backup directory, this is the directory which is created. System DB with the today's date and with today's date. Can you see? With today's, this is the today's date, and this is the timestamp. So this is the system DB with the timestamp. If you look at the command over here, so this is the system DB and with that underscore, and this is the timestamp. Along with the timestamp, we have created a system DB directory, and inside this we have taken the backup. So if you check the content of this location for the system DB star, so these are your backup files. One file for 156 KB and the other for 2.3 GB. These are the two files for which it is taking the backup. Okay, and the other thing, if you go and check in your system, can you see this is your this one HANA Studio? If I refresh it, see, previously there was nothing here in this one window. Now, if I refresh this, can you see over here? If I refresh it, it has given see one of the backup failed. The reason the failed was that if you can check the reason here also, see permission denied. So my first backup failed because of permission issue on the slash backup directory. Then the second backup was successful. Okay, the second backup. What files did it backup during the backup? So these are the files that it backup, and these are the size of the files. Now, if you drop it down here, if you select on H4D, the SID, the tenant database, if you go in the tenant database, there is no backup yet because we have only taken a backup of the system DB. We have not taken a backup of the tenant database yet. We have to take a backup for the tenant database. We have only executed it for the system DB. See, backup underscore backup sys. So this key is for the system database. Now I will again run the command for the SID tenant database. This HDB SQL minus u backup SID. Again execute. Can you see now it is taking the backup of my tenant database. It will take the backup under slash backup directory by the name db underscore sid and the timestamp. This is the timestamp. Now if I go over here in my this location, okay, du minus css backup star, so you can see it is taking the backup over here. 1.6 GB. You can run a watch command also to see it getting updated. Can you see now it has gone to 2.3? I think it is finished now. Can you see it completed successful? Did also take this also took around 24 seconds. The last system DB backup or took 27 seconds. This took around 24 seconds. Okay, and it was successful. You can see the backup of both the size of the backup are 22.3 GB. Okay, this is my system DB's backup. This is my tenant DB's backup. Okay, this is the timestamp. This is today's date in reverse order. This is today's date in reverse order, and this is the timestamp. 8 o'clock 9 minutes. Here 8 o'clock 5 minutes. Okay, now if you come over here if you see, okay, this is for my tenant database. If I now refresh this screen, now if you refresh this screen, you can see the backup details over here. Can you see? This is the backup for the July 17th. This duration 24 seconds, the size 2.3 GB data backup and everything. What all files it backed up, you can see here in this on the right hand side over here below. If you want to see for the system DB, you can go for the system DB. If you want to check for the tenant DB, you can check it over here. Okay. Is it clear?
When we take backup from HANA Studio
Mm-hmm.
for the tenant DB, I
Mm-hmm.
think 4 file will be created.
Okay. Okay. For which DB you said?
Tenant DB.
Okay. So now let me just for your sake of your query, see right click. I go into backup and recovery. Okay. Backup
Backup tenant
tenant database.
third one. Yeah.
Backup tenant database. I'm selecting the tenant DB. I'm selecting next. Okay. This is the command. If you want, you can say give the timestamp over here. Okay. In case if I want to the timestamp for this directory, what is the timestamp for the tenant DB? It is. You can mention the timestamp over here. The current time is 8 o'clock 11 minutes. So 9 is 11. Okay, now can you, if you click over here, can you see the question mark over here?
Yeah.
No, not the question mark. Sorry. If you click on next.
Next.
Okay, I think you will find help. Review the backup setting and choose finish to start the backup to change the recovery settings. Choose back. There is somewhere here there was a option to get the command what is taking for taking the backup over here. So I don't think I think missed something because there is no button over here. But if you check the command for taking the backup, it is the same command that we executed over here.
But the number of files creating using that command
See
and
now
use
see what your experience as per your experience you have been taking the backup for your database which contains your S4 HANA application server. Okay. But in this case, we don't have an S4 HANA application server.
Okay, that's why taking
Okay,
one more.
that is the reason. If you see the number of files on the OS level, if you see the number of files on the OS level, where are all the files here in this directory? cd/HANA data SID MNT. This is the location. How many directories can you see over here?
3.
3 directives. Now, if you see the files which have been backed up in your system DB, one file got backed up. Okay, this file got backed up. This is the topology file, I think. So this is the file, volume file. So this is the file. This is actually your this file. For your system DB, this is the file which got backed up. ls hdb01. This is the file which got backed up for your system DB, and these are the remaining 2 files which got backed up for your tenant DB.
Okay.
So it depends on the number of files which are there on your database level. If you check for the tenant database, how many files did it backed up? 1 file and 2 files. Can you see it only backed up 2 files? So
Yeah.
these are the two. Can you see that this is service for which service it backed up? Index server
Index
and the
server
access
and
server.
access server. Yeah.
So right now we only have these 2 files available for the tenant DB on a database file system. So that is why it is taking backup of this 2 file only. For if you install as for an application server on this database, then the number of services will increase for that database, HANA database. Okay, it will also add a doc store. It will add a service for doc store, and there's another service I am forgetting the name from it. So I think there are total more 4 services for it. So it will
4
take a
number.
backup of it. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so there it is. Okay, so Now the last command over here is to delete the backup, drop user backup. In case if you want to delete the user, you can log in into this user from here and you can execute the command drop user backup, and it will be deleted from your particular respective database. Huh? It doesn't mean if you delete it from the system or the user from the tenant DB will also be deleted. No, you have to go in each and every database and delete it. Okay, so am I clear till now?
Yes. For dropping any user, we have to log in from another user, right?
Yes, from dropping any user, I think by which remove backup user and using the key. I see I'm connecting with this key. In this key, I'm logging with the this user, system user. Okay, so this is the reason I'm logging with the system user and I'm deleting this user. So yes, you have to log in with a different user,
Different
not the
user.
same.
Okay.
Okay, is it
Muzaffar, there
clear?
was a Delta backup option, I think, in HANA Studio. What was that?
See, we are not discussing the backup right now. This is just I'm showing an option of the user related anything. Okay. So when the options come for the Delta backup, we will take that option also that time there. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay.
actually today's class is not for the backup. This is not for the backup and recovery related topic over here. This is just to explain you how to create a user. So just to explain you, give you an like practical example. I've created a user for taking backup. I created a key for it, and I'm executing the command for taking the backup. Okay, so when we go for the backup and recovery topic, then you'll come across that.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Muzaffar, I have one query.
Yes, yes.
What is the schema user and where to find what are the schema users in database? I
Yes,
have
I
one that also
think.
not
Let me see if
here.
we have it here, or maybe I think not here. Will check it in the backup user. When we go for the backup user, na, I think somewhere over here we have the option for that. At that time we will discuss about what your topic. Just remind me at that time for the
Yeah,
schema.
yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah.
Let's not
Okay.
confuse or get with this topic complicated. So, am I
Yeah,
clear
okay.
with this till now? The topic that you've done till now, the troubleshooting
Yes.
part and the user, the half part of this, the creating the backup user and taking the backup from the user.
Yes.
Yeah, clear.
Yeah, is it?
Yes.
I think this topic was taken earlier. Actually, I think I should have completed the backup topic before taking the troubleshooting and the user topic. Okay, so that is good. I pushed it for backward now. So the next time I will take the backup topic. In the next batch, I will take the backup topic before, and then we'll move to the troubleshoot and this user part of it. Okay. So can we continue now?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So now this was the point over here. The user administration, check users, create a backup user. So this was the point over here. Create a backup user. Now coming to the next point, our objective of this topic is to reset the system user password of system DB. Okay. Reset the system user password of system DB. How can you reset the system user password of system DB? So actually for this it takes a downtime. If you want to reset the system user's password of your system DB, you have to run this command HDB name server minus reset user system. When you run this command, before running this command, you have to shut down the database and then you have to reset the password, and after that you can bring up the database. So there is a downtime for this activity. So that is the reason I'm putting this option over here. So what we are exactly doing is that, see, now every time, for example, in the future, if you forget the password for your system DB, or for example the system administrator of your company has left the company without sharing the information about the password for your system DB. Now what will you do? So if you don't have the password for the system DB, you have to reset the password. If you're going to reset the password for the system DB, then if you're going to reset it for the system DB, you need a downtime for that. So it is not easy in a organization to take a downtime for your critical database. So that is the reason what we are going is to do here. Our objective is to create an admin user. We will be creating an admin user. See, for the system user, no other user can reset the password for the system user. So for resetting the password of the system user, you'll create an admin user and you'll give the user these two privilege. A user needs these two privilege so that he can reset the password of any other user, including system also. So to give you an example, that before that we cannot change the password for the system user, so we have to shut down the database and we have to reset the password. After that, we'll create a user with this privilege. Okay, and after creating the user with this privilege, then we are going to reset the password for the system user without shutting down the database. Is my objective clear?
Yes.
Okay. So one very important thing over here, very important thing before you're doing this activity, stop. Okay, close your HANA Studio. Don't keep it open. If you keep this HANA Studio open, it's a very, you see what happens. You have connected to this database, this system DB database. Refresh. You are connecting to this database with the user system user and its password. If you see over here, you are connecting to this user with the system DB and the password. Now what happens in the background, you are changing the password for the system DB. Here what happens, as soon as you change the password from the command line, this HANA Studio will try to connect to your user with the old password. It will try to connect to your this database system database with the system user and the old password. And if you try 5 times, if you try 5 times in a row incorrect password, the user system gets locked. Okay, this was a very good learning in my previous batch. We kept this HANA Studio open and we resetted the password. Afterwards, it started giving problem. We were not able to log in with the user with the new password. And again, we checked it. It got locked. And it was a very very scenario. So here, just shut it down. Or what you can do is that you can right click and you can log off also from here, so that it shouldn't try to log into the database. So what I'm doing over here, I'm trying to log up this from here, my system DB. I have tried to log in with my system DB, and also let me log off from here also, because when you shut down the database, this connection will also get break. So I have logged off from here. Now what I'm doing over here. Okay, so now what I'm doing over here is this. Okay, now the scenario is that you have forgot the password for the system user of the system DB. Okay, so now what you need to do is that you need to first thing you need to shut down the database. You have to shut down the database, then only you can run that command. Okay, so the database has stopped now. Okay, now I want to reset the password. You have to run this command HDB name server reset user system. Okay, now can you see over here? It is asking for you for the new password. You have to enter the password of the system user, resetting user system. And here it is asking you for the new password. Don't just ignore these messages on the screen. Just ignore this message. So now this I am setting the password to this password now, system123. The earlier one was India123. I am now changing the password to system123. Okay, here I'm giving pasting the password. Again, it is asking confirm. Again, I resetted the password. So now can you see over it? New password accepted. It says new password accepted. Now it has resetted the password. It has brought me back. Now I can start my database. Now I can start. Okay, if you see the message over here, close HANA Studio or a log off from system DB in HANA Studio. Okay, this is the message over here. Let me put it into red. That should be better. Because if you ignore, if you just forget this message, if you start to change the password, you will start getting issues over here. Okay, so now here I'm starting my database. I have resetted the password for the system user. Now I'm starting my database. Okay, so here you can see my database has started. Now, once my database is started, now the password for the system DB has changed. If you want, you can try to see. I can log in with this key for the system user with the you can check for this. Let's see if this key is working or not. Can you see over here? It is giving you an authentication fail. Why? Because the last time when you created the key, the password for that user was India123. Now we have changed the password from India123 to System123. So that is the reason you are not able to log in with the old key. So now if you want to log in, you have to use the new password HDB SQL minus instance number system password, new password, and the system DB. You can log in with this command only. Can you see I have logged into the system DB prompt with the new password? Is it clear? Yes.
If we change the password, it will automatically get reflected in the system. Means where it
Which
is used,
system?
the system password.
Where it will get reflected?
Means for accessing any data in DB.
Then if you have stored somewhere, see now if I try to open my this one, the HANA Studio, if I try to log in over here, it will start giving error because it will try to connect with the old password because the old password is saved here in my HANA Studio. The old password is saved in my keys, in my older keys. Okay, so now I have to upgrade all the keys also. If I want to use the old
User store
keys, I
keys.
have to first change the password over there. I have to here also I need to log on or I need to change over here. I need to change and I need to create a new connection with the new password. Okay. I won't be
Mhm.
able to it will not get changed, it will not get updated everywhere. See if it gets updated everywhere automatically, then what is the use of security?
Okay.
Okay, so now see now what we have done, we have changed the password for the system user. Now we are going to create a user. Now our objective is to create a user called as admin. This is the user admin, and what we are going to do is that we are going to change the password. Sorry, we are going to now change the password for the system user without shutting down the database online. After creating the user, we will log in with that user and we'll change the password for the system DB. So let me just change it over here again, make it 2020. Okay, and there.
Can you please this is a tenant DB also?
Yes, can you come again? What?
Can you please reset the password for tenant DB also?
No, tenant DB is different. That is not changed yet. If you want to change the password for the tenant DB, you can change the password from the alter user command also for the tenant DB. You don't have to shut down the database for the changing the password for the tenant DB. System user password for the tenant DB. Am I clear?
No, sir. Can you please come again?
Okay, if you want to change the password of your tenant database, you don't need to shut down the database.
Okay.
Okay, you can from the system user from you can log in into your system DB from the
Mhm.
system DB using the alter command. Alter command, you can change the password of the system user of your tenant DB.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you please do it now if you have time?
Okay, we will check that.
Yeah, thank you.
Muzaffarji, that system user is same for all the database is what?
I explained it to you last time also. See, the user master record is different for every database. System user of system DB is not equal to system user of tenant DB.
Okay, okay.
So that is the reason. Yes, we have changed the password. I changed the password for this user. I changed the password for this user. This is 2020. This is 2022. Okay. So here I'm logging with the 2020 password. See, here I'm using the 2020 password, but here I'm using the 2022 password. If it's the same user, then why will I have the different password for the same user? So
Okay.
this is just for making you understand that these passwords are different. Okay. So, better I think need to change it to something more. Maybe I think I take it to 1947. And this will need to change it to like the COVID year over it is 2000. Just so that it's different, doesn't mix both passwords. This is different 1947. This is different. Here also it will be. Okay, now it is more distinguishable. So this is a different password 1947. This is a different password 2020. So these two users are different. The backup user of system DB and the backup user of the tenant DB is different. Here also let me change it to the same. Okay. Yeah, sorry for the distraction. Okay, now what we are doing over is that we are going to create the user. Okay, now we are already logged in over here with the system DB. We are logged into the system DB with the system user. We are logged into system user system. We are going to create a user over here. Okay, now we are going to create a username admin. We are going to create a user admin with the password 1947 admin 1947 no force password first chain. alter user admin, disable password lifetime, grant user admin to admin, grant ini file admin to admin. It means we are granting this user the permission to change ini files. We are giving the permission to this user to change ini files, means the configuration files. Okay. So this is a little different than your backup user. In the backup user, you give the backup admin privilege to the backup user. Here we are giving the user admin privilege. Here you give the catalog read. Here we are giving the ini file admin. Okay, so here I'm creating the user in my tenant database. Can you see I've created the user admin in my tenant database? So let's start from user. Now here I can see that the user has been created. So this is the user created for my this one. Okay. Okay. Is this part clear till now? I created a user and then I have checked the user has been created. Now I can log in with the admin user. See now I can quit from here. I had logged in with the system user. Now I will quit from here. I will come out. Now I will log in with the admin user. Here you can see I'm logging with the admin user. I'm logging to the system with the admin user. Okay, and after login, I'm giving this command alter user system password 123. I'm again setting the password 123, the previous password. Okay, I'm again setting the password to the previous password. Okay, see what error it is giving. Last and number of password cannot be reused. Okay, so normally what is there by default, there is a security setting that you cannot reuse the last five number of password. You cannot reuse the last five number of password. So India 123 was within your five numbers. So the one which you are using currently, just older to then was this password India 123. So what you can do over here, you need to, like for example, let me first reset it to India 111. Okay, I have reset the password to India 111 one time. Then I will change this password to 222. Okay, password minimum length 222. Okay, I will change the password second time. Now I will changing the password third time. I will change the password third time. Three times three. Okay, I change it third time. Now I will change it again for the fourth time. 444. Okay, I changed the password four times. Now let me try it again for the 123 India 123. Can you see now I was able to again set my password to my previous password India 123. Now if you try to log into your system in here, if you try to log on, it will be, can you see green? It is able to log in with the old password. Previously if I had given over here, it was given error because the password has changed for that system DB system user of the system DB. Yes, is it clear till now?
Yes.
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 Okay, so here it is. We are done over here. Okay. Now somebody asked me for the changing the password of the system user of the tenant system user. Okay. Database. Let me check, user system reset. Alter data by see alter database SID system user password. Using no first password change will give syntax error. It only works when you logged in with the data logged into the database. Okay, so here it is alter system. This is how you can change the password from your system DB. Can you see? Yeah, it is not U, it is DH. Okay, so here I'm logging to my system DB. From the system DB, I'm stopping my tenant DB, and here I'm changing the password for my tenant DB. Okay, let me show it practically to you. Okay. Now what I'm doing over here, I'll be logging with the system user. So here instead of this, let me log in with the mykey.c. So this is the system user. I'm logging with the system DB with the system user. What I'm doing over here, alter system stop database. I am stopping the database. So you cannot reset the password for any database system user online. Okay, for the system DB, you have to shut down all the database. For the tenant database, you have to shut down the respective tenant database. So here I'm shutting down the database H4D. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, now here I'm shutting down the database. Okay, can you see? I'm shutting down my tenant database. After shutting down my tenant database, I can change the password of the tenant database, the system user of the tenant database. So here I shut down the user. Now what I'm doing over here, I'll change the password alter system SID. So alter database H4D, alter database H4D system user password and the new password. System user password. So current password for the system user is, what is the current password for system user of the tenant database? Yes, anyone, any idea?
India 123.
India one two
India
three.
123. Because we haven't changed the password for the tenant database. So it is India 123. So now I'm going to set it to system 123. Okay. So I've changed it. I'm changing the password of my tenant databases system user. Okay. So here it is system. I'm changing the password, alter database SID. I'm changing it from my system DB. Can you see? I'm changing it from my system DB. From the system DB, I'm changing the password for the system user of my tenant DB. Okay, can you see it has completed successfully? 21 seconds. It took 21 seconds. Now I have to start the database H4D. I have to start my tenant database. Okay, it is already alter system start database H4D. Okay, so once you reset the password, see it automatically started your database. Once I reset the password, it has automatically started the database. So now let me quit from here. I'm quitting from this prompt. Now what I'm doing, I'm logging to my database. See, I'm logging to my tenant database. So how can I log into my tenant database? HDB SQL, HDB, HDB SQL minus I instance number 03 system minus user system minus P. If I use the old password, India 123, okay, and enter. See, it is giving me authentication fail. Now I have to give the new password, system 123. You see, can you see what it is asking for? You have to change the password. Now it is forcefully asking you to change the password. So this is the reason we used to add this switch over here. No force first password change. But here, if you see the mark over here, using no force first password change will give syntax error, as it only works when the user when you're logged into the database. See, I'm not logged into my tenant database. I'm changing the password of the tenant database system user from my system DB. So that is the reason I cannot use this switch in my command. So that is the reason it is now forcefully asking me to change the password. And I have to give the password here, something like, say, I'll give the password as system 111. Let me give the password as system 111. System 11, enter, system 111, enter. Okay, it has reset the password. Now if I quit from here, again, if I try to log in with this new password 111. Okay. See, I've logged in with the user. Now my current password for my system DB is 111, system 111. System user, not system DB. So now the current password for my system user of my tenant DB is system 111. So is it clear with everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now if you want to see here you can also create a user. Again, I'm going to create the same user, but this time I'm going to create it in my tenant database. Okay, let me check if there is any user by the name as admin. Okay, so you can see zero rows selected. When you say zero rows, it means no record was selected. So you have now, if I create the user, I'm creating the user over here. Okay, I'm creating the user. The user is creating. Let me check the user. So now I can see the record of the user. Can you see? It has selected this record. If my user is existing. Now you can run. I can log in with this new user. I can log in with the new user. Okay, here I'm logging with the new user. H4D, but why didn't give the prompt over here? Okay, maybe for the system DB, it only gives the prompt for the system DB. Okay, so now I'm logging over. I can now change the password of this user. Okay, it's now to India123. Again, it will give me an error. Okay, okay, it said the password alter user system password 123, no force password. That is good. Now let me come out and try to log in here. Last time I logged in with 111. Like let me log in with India123. Okay, here I'm logged in with the system user with the new password India123. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
I hope it's not. It doesn't. I think too much was not mixed up. I think.
Little bit mix up for 2 days.
And on top of that, you also wanted to know about the Delta backups also.
that we will do later.
Okay. So what do you suggest? Can we take a break and meet up again, or do you think it is enough for the day? I don't want to push you like too much on your.
For me, I think it's enough, or we can take a
What about
break.
others? Should we continue, or should we like conclude for today, and we can take it up on the next week?
Yeah, we'll take
We
it
will
up.
conclude.
We, from my point also, it's enough. I don't know about the others.
Okay, then it's good. We'll conclude the session for today, and we'll meet up in the next class with the new topic, backup and recovery. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So everyone, goodbye. Have a good
Okay. Bye
week.
bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
everyone.
Bye.